Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back. Child's Play 2. Directed by John Lafayette, it stars Alex Vincent and the voice of Brad Dourif, and that's kind of all that matters. No, it actually, rounding out the cast is Christine Elise and Garrett Graham, who I actually refer to as Bud the Chud. And who's a mom? Not his actual mom either. Jenny Agutter. It starts with Andy is 2 years after the first movie, and Andy is now in foster care. His mom is in a nut house. So Bud the Chud and I'm gonna call him Bud the Chud and Jenny Agutter, they are his foster parents, and they take him in. And their foster daughter, her name is Kyle, played by Christine Elise. Now, for some odd, strange, and wonderful reason, they get the first doll from the first movie that was involved in a murder, kind of. They just covered it all up and made a doll out of that doll, which makes complete and total sense. This is what you have to do when you have a franchise that you gotta kick off. So this doll ends up tracking Andy down through some good detective work, and finds out he's in a foster home and gets in contact with him to try to play his fun game called Hide the Soul. Once again, I like this movie a lot. This one, it continues the seriousness and the fun of the first one. They're serious and they're fun at the same time. I just saw this movie last night and I had a really good time watching it. I feel like the animatronics that they used for Chucky were better. They got good facial expressions. He was more comfortable. Brad Dourif was more comfortable using the voice and just getting into Chucky's vernacular. The kills were dope. This is what we're here for. It's the 80s movie going into the 90s slasher is like they know the formula, they know what we want. We're cheering for Chucky, we want people to die, and they don't hold back. The kills in this movie are dope. It feels smaller in scale until the third act. In the first one, he traveled a lot with Andy. They went all over. It's in Jersey, right? I believe it's in Jersey. So they go all over Jersey, you know what I'm saying? It was real hood, the first one. But the second one, he's in a foster home now, and it's like in suburban. And the only settings are his foster home and school until the third act, where it ends up getting to Playpal's factory, which is really cool. And it's a bunch of Chucky boxes all over the place, and it's a big maze type of sequence, and it's kind of dope. But yeah, man, the second outing, it was good. It was before it started to get silly. Andy was really, really good as an actor, child actor. I feel like this is probably should have been the last time that he came back to play Andy, because he comes back later in the later movies, and yeah, I had my feelings about those other movies. I've said many times before that Andy was most gangster when he was a kid. When in the third one, when he was a teenager, he wasn't ready for Chucky. He didn't want no smoke with Chucky at all. In this one, he wanted all the smoke with Chucky. Oh, I can talk about the teacher, Miss Adderwell. Miss Adderwell was in Donnie Darko also as a teacher, and Donnie told her to do something with an assignment. You might want to check that out. It's very insightful. But yeah, man, Chucky beats her to death with a ruler, stabs her with a bicycle tire pump, air pump. I was like, come on, man, Chucky was getting it in this one. All the kills were good. When he killed Bud the Chud, when Bud the Chud's neck snapped. Oh, it's going to be all kinds of spoilers in this. When Bud the Chud's neck snapped in the basement. Whew. Meanwhile, I'm doing this review because I just showed this movie to my 10-year-old niece, and she loved it. She saw the first one on her birthday, and has been rocking with the first one for a few months. And now that we're on quarantine, it's like movie night. We gonna watch something she ain't seen. And so yeah, Child's Play 2 was immediately my go-to because I knew she had already seen the first one. I loved it. So yeah, I really dug this movie. I don't have a stars or a grade or what. I just really like it, man. It's in the Chucky franchise. It's in top tier to me. Andy being a kid is a big deal to me. I appreciate the whole aspect of this doll who is pissed off and has had it with playing around, and he hates this child. I think it's hilarious that a toy does not want to be played with, and he hates kids now, and it's really good. I appreciated the third act when Chucky, I feel like he changed the game when he started to get disfigured and make himself into like more of a monster. He got his hand chopped off, and then a really gruesome scene where you know you're looking at a puppet. You know you're looking at a puppet, but he like jams the nub into the back end of a knife. So now he has knife hand. But just him doing that process is just, it's really gross, but it's a puppet. But you feel, I guess it would be for the puppeteers and Brad Dourif, them working together. That piece of art was just gross and gruesome, and I appreciated it oh so much. The grown-ups in the room were going, ah. The child in the room was like, ah. So yeah, they good. Job well done. That third act, just go ahead straight to the third act. Because, I mean, yeah, it's like, this is a Chucky movie. Finds a kid, he has to transfer his soul back into the kid so he can be a human. If he stays into the doll body too long, he just gets trapped in the doll body. So yeah, with the help of Kyle, who she ends up finally believing him after she finds the original good guy doll that was in that house that Chucky ends up murdering and telling him to eat dirt. His name was Tommy, I believe. And yeah, he just switches places with the doll and wreaks all kinds of havoc in this house, doing this Chucky shit, doing weird shit, blaming on other people, having people think they're crazy and he's crazy. And then he slowly just starts to kill every damn body in the house. And so Kyle is like, shit, I'm a foster kid in this house. Kind of alone, what's going on? So yeah, she finds the Tommy doll and figures out this shit, Chucky's for real. This kid's not lying. He's been pretty serious about he was crazy. So yeah, she helps him get the hell up out of there. He ends up going to his to the orphanage. Sorry. He ends up going to the orphanage because all the adults in the house that he was in are now dead. So yeah, he has to go back to the orphanage, and Chucky gets Kyle to drive him to the orphanage, where there's another cool kill where he I don't know the lady's name. I'm just calling her Miss Hannigan because any lady that's in charge of an orphanage is Mrs. Hannigan. So I'm calling Miss Hannigan. He stabs the shit out of her, and she dies on the Xerox machine. And there's a bunch of Xerox copies coming out of her. Of the sorry, there's a lot of Xerox copies coming out of the machine, and it's all faces of death. It's her many faces of death. I thought that was hilarious. And then yeah, there's a damn high-speed car chase. There's a high-speed car chase in this movie. Chucky flips the bird. There's a lot of good things happening in this movie. It's like highlights in Chucky's career. See, what I want to do is when I talk about certain movies in a franchise type of situation, it's like, where does it fall in the franchise? What does it do? But this movie, second one, strong sequel. Chucky started to make himself more of a monster with that knife hand. He was in a high-speed car chase. He flipped the bird. Chucky did a lot in this one. 2 thumbs up. What are we doing? I don't know the rating system. I just like this movie. If you haven't seen it, what the hell is wrong with you? It's a good ass Chucky movie. You need to check it out. It's the second of the bunch when they were still taking them seriously, yet having fun with it, and it didn't get silly. I mean, as serious as you can be with a movie about a doll that talks and kills people. It's about as serious as you can get. There's a lot of good fun and great lines in this movie. The van driver at the end of that high speed car chase, it was involving a van. The driver of that van probably has the best line in the whole movie. I'll let you find that and figure that out. But yeah, third act at the Play Pal Factory. This movie is action-packed now. It's more of a suspense thriller than a monster movie, because Chucky and Andy end up making it to the factory, and Chucky does the offensive voodoo ritual that has to be done in these movies for the soul to be transferred from one body to the next. I mean, that's how he became Chucky. When he first was a human, he got shot, and before he died, he put his sold into a damn dog, because he was in a toy store. That's all he had. So he gets Andy, and he's doing the whole ritual, and it's like, oh shit, ritual's done. He's ready to come back. It's like, oh my boy, like Pinocchio. But he realizes he's been in his body too long. Shit doesn't work, and all bets are off. He's just like, I'm just gonna kill this little bastard now. And that is where I saw it be higher stakes. They just raise the stakes for it now, because it's like, oh shit, he actually got a chance to do the ritual. Didn't work. He's pissed. The yell that he let out was like in Man of Steel at the end. After he was like, shit, I had to kill him. Ah! That shit was dope. But yeah, it's like after that, all bets was off, and he's like, I'm gonna kill this little fucker. And I appreciate that. Just that chase sequence with them running through this damn factory, where it was just a maze of good guy doll boxes, almost to the point where you start to wonder, what the hell is wrong with the staff at Play Pal's factory, where they have to stack all this shit like this? This makes no sense. This is the worst warehouse ever. But then you start to look at the actual machines in the factory when they make it out into the open area, and why she wanted to climb up some shit instead of just walking out the front door. Horror movie rules, and it's also in the script, and I appreciate it, because it was on some Indiana Jones shit after a while, and I appreciate this movie oh so very much. You need to check out Child's Play 2. I'm gonna probably end up reviewing the first and doing a much more in-depth review of the first one, because it started something special. And there's been so many sequels and a reboot, soft reboot, but none of them really had the charm of the first two or three. Even though 3 was the weakest out of the trilogy, it still had a certain charm to it, and I feel like that charm was lost. Even though I liked Bride and the Seed of Chucky, the charm was lost. I don't know what happened. And those other things, we'll talk about those later maybe. I don't know. This is the thing is, I gotta watch them. I'm gonna talk about them. And I already did it once. I feel like I don't want to go back there. Just want to stay in a happy place. So, thank you for joining me for my shaky review of Child's Play 2. It wasn't shaky. I feel like I reviewed it quite well, if might I add, if I don't say so myself, or yourself. Till next time.